Alright, it's week 3, we got a long video, so
let's go!
With
He's made a mess of it.
This week brought to you by Ryan, which way am I going, Leaf? I have a statement from the league commissioner Tyler Palco, who briefly said,
possibly the worst mess that has ever been made.
I'll leave the real Ryan Leaf's parents to decide that or not. Mr. Leaf decided to switch up his picks since he picked the same 2 teams in weeks 1 and 2. I usually see teams that score negative 1 week bounce back and score a lot of BQBL points the next week. It happens a lot, not this time for Leaf. Arizona followed up their negative 11 week 2 with a negative 6, and New England pulled a Tigger and did what they do best and followed up a negative 17 week 2 with a negative 22. Leaf picked them both. On the bench, Cleveland amassed a mediocre 29, while Carolina would have given Leaf 72 on top of that. What we end up with is a 129-point swing for what could have been and what happened. And what happened was a mess of it.
Honorable mention Jamarcus Russell.
Now it's time for Moneyballing It, the feel-good segment where you can gloat about your picking prowess, if only for 1 week. It's the yin to the made a mess of its yang. Only one person was brave enough to start both of their late picks, Krenzel, and it turned out okay. The problem with this week's segment is that everyone who got nice points from their 4th round pick also boned up their other pick. Krenzel got a 0 from 3rd rounder Detroit, and the other 2 people who smartly picked Atlanta, Wenke and Hutchinson, both got negative from your other pick. That's not how you moneyball it. Now on to the week 3 scores. In first again is Tyler Palco, who scored a 1. He's also picking flawless on the season, and it's why the top 2 in the standings are who they are. Speaking of second place, check out Johnny Football. His 117-point week is 1 off this year's record high of 118, but I doubt he cares. Baltimore and the Chargers were excellent choices as Mr. Football continues to pick his top 2 teams for the 3rd week in a row. Wade Wilson rounds out the top 3 with a pedestrian 10 points, but hey, at least he's scoring in round numbers, so it's been easy to calculate his scores. Wade has yet to record a week that isn't divisible by 10. Close behind the top 3 is Chad Hutchinson, who, as I said before, smartly chose Atlanta and then wasted a San Fran pick when Denver finally woke up. Next week is his last week before the dreaded week 5 triple bye that he drafted himself into, so enjoy your top 4 spot while it lasts. Not too far back is the other Johnny, former champion, now 5th place afterthought, effing Moxon. He got 33 starting his first 2 draft picks. That's about par for the course, but he left 72 points on the bench and has yet to start Carolina, and New Orleans is thus far not delighted BQBL fans at all. The bottom 3 of us have a lot in common with the bottom 3 of the Turbo League. We suck. Kellen Moore scored twice as good as first place Tyler Palco and got a 2. Perhaps only picking Seattle on the road isn't going to work all season. Cleo Lemon dug himself out of the basement and is now standing on the steps looking through the door wondering what's on the other side. His crystal ball is working again and has picked his best 2 teams the past 2 weeks. This week, avoiding 2 big negatives in Nitty and New England. I foresee you will be getting a phone call from Ryan Leaf very soon.
Call me now for your free reading.
A newcomer in last place is Cade McNown, who really didn't have much to choose from between his 4 teams, so he ended up picking the worst 2. We now have our first negative week on the season. Only 1 person finished last year without one, so 7 of you remain. Figuring out which one of you will end up relegated at the end of the year is not easy. The upset pick is Tyler Palco, who, even though he's in first now, will eventually have Andrew Luck back, and I think his other 3 draft picks were terrible. Once he starts picking bad, he gets in a rut. Johnny Football would have made a great candidate with the Rams team that might be good this year, but this past week 3 has spooked me out of choosing him. Baltimore could be the BQBL pick of the year. Honestly, it's going to come down to McNown or Lemon, and I think the blind faith in the Jets might be Lemon's undoing this year. His other 3 picks were not that great. I foresee a lot of negative weeks, and besides the Jets, not too many of his teams are going to put up big numbers. I think Hutchinson, effing Moxon, and Wilson are locks not to get relegated.
Oh God, look at all these negative weeks. Russell, Leaf, George, I don't know what to say. You all picked 6 teams collectively, and not one of them scored a 0 or better. That's right, a bye week would have picked better than you. And you wonder why you're in the Turbush League? I don't have anything else to say about the rest of you. This video is already too long.